this is Jason with Violator Comics Collectibles coming at you with another toy review. And this time we're taking a look at the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom Roaring Super Colossal Tyrannosaurus Rex with battle damage. And this is from the Jurassic World The Fallen Kingdom toy line from Mattel from 2018. So the first thing we're going to do is take a close look at the packaging. So take a look at the packaging. Big open box packaging. I mean, this guy is absolutely enormous. So this is obviously for the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom toy line. Now they do just keep the regular Jurassic World logo, like they're almost trying to keep the toy lines kind of running together. But this was, put out for the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom movie. So it does say this is the Roaring Super Colossal T-Rex. There is a regular Super Colossal T-Rex that doesn't roar and doesn't have the battle damage. That's pretty much how you can tell. Just look for the slices on him, and then look at it says battle damage on the package. And I actually prefer this one better because for some reason this was cheaper than the regular one at Walmart. This was $49 for this monster, and it is a monster. And the battle damage I actually like because it reminds me of like his battle with the Indominus Rex. So I actually prefer that. This is kind of like a continuation for me because it is going to be the same T-Rex. But packaging looks really cool. You can see Owen in blue. It's got the big battle damage logo, and then it's hard to see as I rotate it, but the package on the side, it's supposed to be like it's a cage. And then going on to the back, you get a gigantic picture of the T-Rex. It also shows that he swallows and stores up to 20 mini dinosaurs, so we can actually swallow figures. Reminds me a lot of the Lost World Jurassic Park, that I think it was called the Gulper T-Rex. It's actually kind of hard to find and kind of more expensive, but he could actually eat, except this one looks cooler. Like, it doesn't have that big, huge neck. But I mean, everything looks cool on this. You can see some of the mini dinosaurs, they do show that, but I mean, what a gigantic figure. And I can't wait to get this guy open up, so let's take a look. Alright, so getting the Roaring Super Colossal T-Rex out of the packaging, this thing is gigantic. Now, like I said in the intro, this is like a secondary version of this figure. They have him, a regular version of him that doesn't have the battle damage and doesn't make sounds. He actually does some T-Rex roaring sounds. But this guy is huge. I mean, it's an understatement. I cannot even get him all in frame. I mean, he's monstrous. I mean, he's definitely longer than 3 feet. I mean, he's a behemoth. But I mean, you could take a look at him. So he's pretty much hard plastic for the most part. There are some soft parts of him. His up here, the snout is a little soft, so it's got that real feel kind of feel to it. His tongue has that softness to it. The skin right here on his neck does, but the rest of this is hard plastic. And then the very back of his tail, the back section that moves at the pivot, basically from this all the way down, is this soft plastic, which is really cool. So he's kind of got that real feel to him, not like the Mosasaur where he's got like a ton of the real feel to him, but pretty nice. Articulation, same thing, pretty good for a large figure like this. I mean, you can't really expect that much, but I mean, his top jaw moves independently, and so does his bottom jaw. And that's also where the electronic feature is, which I'll show in a second. His arms both move, his legs move as well, and as well as his feet kind of turn right down here. And then, like I said, his tail, you know, this is the piece where you actually put it into the figure when you unpackage it. But this section right here has a pretty decent movement to it. Kind of like a ball joint, but doesn't move all the way around, but not too bad. I mean, I wasn't expecting a ton of articulation to begin with. Main feature, obviously, with this guy, or one of the main features with this version specifically, obviously he's got the battle damage, so we got the scars, which we'll kind of take a look at in closer detail in a little bit. But if you open his mouth wide enough, he does have that T-Rex one. I think he has a couple different ones. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not really sure. It seemed to be almost... Yeah, so he's definitely got a couple ones. We'll try one more right here. So it's definitely got a couple variations, you know, with growls and different roars and stuff like that, which is really cool. And I like that this guy actually has the sound, you know, it reminds me of my original T-Rex from the original Jurassic Park toy line, which is one of my favorite toys of all time. And, you know, unfortunately for that guy, this guy is up there now. I mean, this is one of the coolest toys I've seen in a while. Doing reviews, you know, the dinosaurs at Jurassic Park, at Jurassic World, you know, they're so cool, and having these toys, and they get better every single year. And this year was kind of stagnant so far. I mean, we had the Rampage toys, and then we had, you know, then Solo was, you know, then the Avengers toys, which I didn't really care for, and then we had the Solo, you know, kind of getting Star Wars out with some of the stuff, a lot of just redos of characters we already got, and that's kind of unfortunate. And then you get these toys, and these are just so much fun. Now, his other feature, he's basically a super huge version of that Gulper T-Rex from the Lost World Jurassic Park. That Gulper T-Rex had a bigger, fatter neck right here, and the figures went down. And I don't remember if he had a opening door, if you could just reach in him to pull those figures out. And it's kind of the same. I mean, it's really more designed towards smaller, those smaller dinosaur figures. But you can put pretty much anything in there, and you can see he's basically got this gigantic hole that goes down his mouth, and then at the very underneath him, right by the electronics, here's the electronics, and there's the actual a door that pops open, and we'll show that in 1 second, where you could pull the toys out. Now, right now I have the trap door open just to kind of show you what would happen, but you know, if you have those miniature dinosaurs, which they're kind of promoting, that's what you'd probably want to use. I mean, you could obviously use like the little human characters they're making because they're a lot smaller, but this guy is not in scale to any of the other figures. He is his own scale. This T-Rex is not in scale to like the big Mosasaur they released or the Indoraptor, so just be aware of that when you get him. He's just abnormally large. But, you know, here's some Hot Wheels. This is the Mosasaur version car of the Jurassic, or Lost World, I'm sorry, the Fallen Kingdom. And, you know, he can eat that. And because I have the trap door, it can just pop out. But you can keep the door shut. And they say they can keep up to 20 miniature dinosaurs in there. Here's the Stegosaurus car, a little bit bigger. Same thing, he can just pop out. Like I said, I just have the door open just to kind of show you that you can get them out pretty easy. But, I mean, you can put them all in, and you can store them if you really want to. Like, we'll shut that. I'll grab these guys right here. And same thing, I'll just keep them in there, and you can store them in there. And that's pretty cool. So you can actually store your figures in this guy as well, which is pretty neat. Here you can see his face, you can see those scars. Like I said, I don't know if this is exactly accurate to exactly what happened to him, you know, in the original Jurassic World with the Indominus Rex, or if this is going to be something new. But he's got those slashes, and I think they're really cool. And then you can see as we open him up, you can see his teeth, his mouth. You got that soft tongue right here. And then as we go to the other side, we'll kind of flip him around. There we go. On his snout right there, you can see some more battle damage as well on his face. Here we have some more battle damage on his body. And then as we go up, what's kind of funny is a lot of the softer parts of him have this more like speckled paint job. Like you can see the section right here is actually the softer plastic. And you can see the speckled paint right here. You'll see that as well on the very tip of his tail as well. And we'll kind of scroll over there right now. Here we have more battle damage, and we'll go to his tail. You'll see there's actually scars that aren't painted right there on him. And as we go to the back, there's more battle damage, and then you can kind of see with the lighting. It's got, this is that soft piece of his tail right here, and he's got more of that speckled paint to him. So I mean, he looks really, really nice. Feet are molded nice, and I do like that you can actually turn this part right here. The feet are kind of softer plastic, but you know, not like the tail. But I mean, the nails painted separately. I mean, they did a good job overall with this guy. And like I said, on the underside of him, here we have that the battery part right here, and then here we have this flipped out door. And like I said, if you have toys in there, you can get them out. Let's see if I can, let me tilt them out and get the cars that are still in him. So you can store those figures in there, which is pretty cool. And here on his foot, you have that skeletonized T-Rex logo. You know, all the Lost World, Fallen Kingdom figures are having on them. You know, all the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World figures typically have something on them. Like the original Jurassic Park had the JP, the Jurassic World had the JW. These have these things on a little stamp on them. This guy does not have one of those app stickers. I don't know why. I didn't find it anywhere on him. It's just, you can't scan this guy into the app, which I'm not really sure why, but you know, it really doesn't matter for me. And for size comparison, I have him pushed basically to the max of my little table here that has a little lip on it. So he's kind of going to be elevated higher, but pretty much this is him from nose to tail. And so let's take a look at the original T-Rex from Jurassic Park. We'll kind of put him into frame here. And this guy never stands real well, but you can see this guy is absolutely tiny compared to him. I mean, really tiny. And then we'll kind of put the Indominus Rex, who doesn't like to stand on his own. It's like a joint issue. This is the Indominus Rex from the Lost World, and you can see he's super, super tiny. I mean, look at the size of this guy. And then most recent, here we have the gigantic real feel Mosasaur, and you can see that this guy is 28 inches, and this the T-Rex is monstrous. So he's definitely not in scale, but a really, really amazing T-Rex. This is probably one of my favorite T-Rex figures they've ever released. Like I said, if you want something in scale, not for you. You're going to have to get that thrashing T-Rex to kind of stay in the scale of the rest of the figures. But these two right here, so far this year, are probably my two favorite toys that any toy company's released. I think these guys are phenomenal. I love this big T-Rex. It's probably going to go in my arcade, on top of one of my arcade cabinets as like a display piece or something. Because I have the Lost World Jurassic Park shooting game. It's put him on top because it's going to look ridiculously cool. And then this Mosasaur is the same thing. It's awesome. He's just such a cool looking figure, and he's so huge. And I do like that he has that real feel skin. I think the only way that T-Rex would be better is if they actually did the real feel skin on him, but obviously that would probably put him up at a much higher price point than what he is. I paid $49 for him. And this is the electronic version. Like I said, there's two versions. And when I first saw the original large T-Rex, he was $55. Didn't have the battle damage, didn't have the electronics. I don't know if there's some kind of price change that happened. I like this guy a lot better. I like the battle damage. So I mean, if you don't like that, and you don't like the red on him, you want to go for something more just plain Jane, then you can definitely go with that. But this battle damage Roaring one is a much better deal, you know, for me. Once again, this has been Jason with Violator Comics Collectibles. If you have questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and I'll see you guys next time.